Our scripture comes from Exodus chapter 20. You probably know it as the Ten Commandments. But at the end of that section, Moses says something to the people that's quite surprising about fear. And so we're going to look at that today. Let's turn in our scriptures to Exodus chapter 20, starting at verse 1. Then God spoke these words to all the people, saying, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol, or any likeness of what is in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the water under the earth. You shall not worship them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, on the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing loving kindness to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not leave him unpunished who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter or your male or female servant or your cattle or your sojourner who stays with you. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be prolonged in the land which the Lord your God gives you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male servant, or his female servant, or his ox, or his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. All the people perceived the thunder and the lightning flashes and the sound of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they trembled and stood at a distance. Then they said to Moses, Speak to us yourself, and we will listen. But let not God speak to us, or we will die. Moses said to the people, Do not be afraid, for God has come in order to test you, and in order that the fear of him may remain with you, so that you may not sin. So the people stood at a distance while Moses approached the thick cloud where God was. We've got some announcements to highlight before our next musical selection. One of the announcements is that we have free public Wi-Fi here at the church available for people who need it. So the people have been using the parking lot or coming to the church and sitting and doing their banking or whatever else it is they need to have access to the internet for in these days. Also, I want to remind you that Hopewell Community Church is open. We've been having office hours here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. Also, people have been dropping by for coffee, tea, and fellowship. And we keep the proper distance, and we do all the proper hand washing to make sure we're not spreading anything. But as businesses and things are opening up, it's good to be meeting people again and answering questions and giving people hope and giving people encouragement. Ladies' Bible study is Wednesday morning, and contact Bev or Ethel or Rose if you're interested in coming. Prayer meeting is Wednesday at 6:30 in the evening. This Sunday we're allowed to worship in person, and so I'm excited for that. On Sunday, May 31st, you'll be receiving emails and more details on the policies and the things that we have to do for meeting. Daily devotions are still available on YouTube, and so you'll find those in your weekly emails with links to them in case you've missed them or don't know how to find them yourself. Also, if you have donations for the food bank, feel free to bring them here. And Alden often does the deliveries of things for the food bank, and so he will look after getting the food that gets dropped off here properly to the food bank. And so those are some things to highlight. Our next musical selection is Sue and Jim and Daryl with a selection called Sheltered in the Arms of God.